Well, here we are on August the 2nd, 2012, and one of the biggest questions on my mind right now is, why is Israel in such a goddamn hurry to bomb Iran? Why are they so anxious to get us embroiled into World War III? Now, I've heard it explained. I don't understand what our undying support to Israel is. What is it that we benefit from by giving our lives and jeopardizing our status with the rest of that region to align ourselves with pretty much a state that was created by terrorism, that founded the whole ideals of this terrorism that we are supposed to be getting protected from by our wonderful leaders? Why is it that we ally ourselves with this country so badly? I don't really understand it. And you know, I've heard the analogy that somebody told me today. They said, "Oh, it's because Iran has been stockpiling weapons." Well, so has Israel. In fact, they've been stockpiling it with our help. And for what reason? And they tout the idea that it's because of all the acts of terrorism against the Israeli people. No, wait a fucking minute here. What about all the acts of terrorism that Israel has performed against other countries in the world, including the 1968 attack on the USS Liberty? That's right, look that up. Israeli jets attacked and tried to sink the USS Liberty in the Gulf to make it look like it was a false flag, to make it look like Egypt did it, so that we could get in there and have a war with Egypt. Well, the only problem was it didn't work. It got swept up under the rug, nobody paid any attention to it. And of course, we didn't have the media like we have today. We've got instantaneous news. You know, I mean, in the late 60s, what did you have? You had, you know, breaking news on one of the three networks it might come on, like when Kennedy was killed. You know, so it didn't spread as quickly. Well, that didn't work, but nevertheless, most of the American people were unaware of a lot of that, all except for the sailors that were on that ship and the families of those that were killed during this attack, those sailors that were maimed during this attack. But this was Israel did this. We don't get oil from them. I don't understand why our undying support for them all the time. And I heard it also explained, you know, that, well, if a man is beating his wife and I see it while I'm walking down the street, then I have an obligation to stop that. And I agree wholeheartedly. Yes, do it. Whip the guy's ass. However, let's take the same scenario and look at it like this. Let's just suppose that someone comes to you and tells you that a man is beating his wife. Now, if this is somebody that you implicitly trust, you would be most likely to go down there and confront this guy, but I'm sure you're going to want to have some explanations first. But if you're told this scenario by someone who has lied to you repeatedly in the past, and yes, I'm talking about the 7 prostitutes, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all the rest of these little infotainment bullshit channels that selectively tell you what to think day by day, are the very ones that have conned you into thinking that we have to have undying support for Israel. Now, let's suppose everyone is picking on Israel. Let's forget the fact that they were created and born out of terrorism funded by our government. And for what purpose? You need to look into that for yourself. We don't get oil from these people. We give them billions of dollars every year in finances as well as weaponry. Yet they continually go around and commit acts of terrorism against their neighbors, being all sneaky, and then when somebody puts the whump down on them for it, then they're, oh, we're being picked on, you got to come over here and die instead of us doing it. Bullshit. You pick on somebody, you start a fight, you finish it. If you can't finish the fight, don't start the fight. This is sort of like a little kid who's got a big bully for a friend. And he goes around and instigates fights with people so that his friend can beat their ass. That's exactly what Israel is doing to us today. I don't understand why we go... and you ask me, what acts of terrorism do they pull? Well, let's see. It wasn't long ago that we had heard about Israeli Mossad, their motto being warfare through deception. That is their motto. It's on their logo. That they were going around and murdering Iranian top nuclear scientists. Now let's keep in mind, these people are not military people. They're private citizens that went to school, learned this science, and because of their knowledge and the geographical border in which they live, the Mossad decides to go out and just selectively kill them. Wow. Well, if that doesn't sound like an act of terrorism, I mean, how is that any different than if you send some nut with a bomb strapped to him in there to blow him up, or whether you have somebody stealthily go up and kill them? I mean, come on. Get out of the rhetoric. This is the reality of it right here. Israel and the U.S., because of our undying support, this is what makes us so unpopular in that region. Our undying support with absolutely no return whatsoever is what's got you duped into sending our sons and daughters into, yes, again, another war. And you know what? This one's going to be the big one. This is going to be the big one. You need to really ask yourself this right here. You remember back in Iraq, and there was all this talk about Saddam's gold. He had all these stockpiles of gold, as did at one time every nation. That's what they based their currency on. But you don't hear anything more about Saddam's gold. Where did it go? Well, after that government was toppled and put under control of a central bank, and nobody talking about the gold, and of course we didn't find any weapons of mass destruction. But that was so long ago that most of you sheeple have forgotten about the weapons of mass destruction. Yes, as of this date and this time, the 2nd of August, 2012, at 7:13 p.m., there have been still no weapons of mass destruction found. Not to mention, Iraq had absolutely nothing to do with 9/11. Not even through the fictitious story that they came up with and fed to the American people. But we went in there anyways and toppled their government because they're mean and listen, all governments are horrible and they're corrupt, every single one of them. And it's not our job to go in there and straighten them out. We need to take care of our own mess here in the States first, where we start dictating foreign policy. We've got a government that nobody likes. And they know we don't like them. That's why they're trying to disarm us at an alarming rate. At an alarming rate. And they'll do anything to get it. So, I have to go back to my original question. Why are we supporting these people? Now let's see. Who's still not under control of a central bank and has gold? Oh yeah, that's right. Syria and Iran. And because the massacres have been shown to be a bunch of shit, that they're actually done by the Syrian rebel army, made to look like the Assad regime. Now notice that it's always a regime when we don't like them. That the Assad regime has been doing all this mean shit to their people, and it's actually Al-Qaeda, funded by us. They're all over Syria that's doing this crap, but we like them now. I don't get this whole thing. And people, if you're that stupid that you actually buy this bullshit that they tell you, old Boy Scout Hannity and the rest of these fucking idiots that are on there, I don't know what the hell their job is. It certainly isn't journalism. They're not. They selectively don't tell you. Here's things you need to wonder about. Fukushima nuclear disaster. That's over? What happened there? Look into it. The BP oil spill. All of a sudden it's just gone. Biggest oil spill in the world ever in history, and it's just gone. It's all gone now. Come on down to the Gulf and eat some mutated shrimp. Why do we not hear about it? Investigators with Joe Arpaio, on their own time and money, went to Hawaii, found startling revelations and concrete proof that the birth certificate that Barack Obama or Barry Soetoro submitted, the long form that you were presented with on whitehouse.gov, is without a doubt a forgery. The press conference streamed live on the web. Not one blurb about it. Not even by Boy Scout Hannity. Sieg Heil there, Mr. Hannity. Jesus Christ. If you rely on that stupid idiot box that's been designed to hypnotize you in the first goddamn place, if you believe what that's told, you deserve every goddamn thing that happens to you. You're sitting in front of a machine that, if you're watching this video right now, you're sitting in front of a fucking machine that you have all the information in the world at the touch of a button, but you're too damn lazy to do any research on it yourself. That's why you have undying support. But if you actually ask yourself, really, why do I support Israel? Would I be willing to go over there and have someone try to shoot at me and kill me in defense of this terrorist nation? Would I really be able to, if I would not be willing to lay my life down for a principle that I don't even know what the fuck the principle is, then I don't understand how somebody can ask our armed forces to go and lay their lives down on the line. Last I knew, our military was to defend the United States, not to push our ideals down other people's throats, not to help Israel topple legitimate governments. Think about it. The leadership of Israel, not even ethnic Jews. They can't trace their lineage back to any of the original 12 tribes, not one bit of it. In fact, when Israel was formed, ethnic Jews were against it. They didn't even want it. But through acts of terrorism by Ashkenazi Jews, look that one up. Those are people, and I'm not being anti-Semitic, I'm anti-Zionist. The Jewish faith is a peaceful faith. It's a wonderful thing. In fact, Christianity stemmed from it. Okay? It didn't include this. Zionism was implemented and come up with by a fucking atheist, for Christ's sake. So you just need to ask yourself, why do we support these countries? Why do we support them with undying... And it's funny. It's almost like a kid who's looking for any kind of an excuse to get somebody else in trouble. First they show us a picture of a goddamn gravel pit or something from a satellite, and they tell me that that's a missile test site and Iran has nukes. And I'm supposed to take their word for it based on this. This is an outfit that has lied to me on every other occasion. I'm not even going to get into the 9/11 lies. But they've lied to me about every other thing, and they want me to believe that this dug-up piece of ground that they show me from the satellite is this. Well, okay, even if it is that, so what? The argument might be, oh, we don't want crazy lunatics to have their finger on the button. Let's not forget something here. Do you not know who's in charge of our country and of other countries and have their finger on just that very button that you're worried about? Do you realize that the United States is the only country ever to irresponsibly use not just one, but 2 atomic bombs? And we're going to worry about little Iran? Really? Because Sean Hannity tells me so? And Sean Hannity tells me what to think. Come on, man. Are you really a dope like that? Get the fuck real. Get the fuck real. Wake the hell up. Look around you. Ask some serious questions. I mean, I think it's just awful. We've got one turd that's in the White House, and what do the GOP put up there for us as a choice? Because we only get 2 fucking choices. That's your choice. You got a choice of 800 different goddamn value menu items, but you only got a choice of 2 goddamn turds. You got douchebag and you got turd, and they're both running. So which one do you want? You want the fascist or you want the communist? Which one? Which one? These are your only 2 choices. And the GOP, that's the best they can do to come up with something to combat Obama? Really? Dictator Obama? People need to really start asking some serious questions. pull your face out of that idiot box. Just do it for about a week. Stay away from the television show. Stay away from the television news for about a week. And see if you don't start clearing up your mind and start wondering some of this shit yourself instead of just what they tell you. I've not had anybody give me one. These are 3 questions that I have right here. Well, two of my biggest questions right here. Why do we have undying support for Israel? What is in it for us to have this kind of support for Israel? Secondly, nobody can tell me what the fuck why gold is worth anything. Why do we find it necessary to collect and amass it? Every culture in the world has done it for ages and ages and ages. Even places that didn't use it for a currency or value it for a wealth still amassed it and adorned things with it. But when it comes right down to it, if the end of the world happened and everything just went kaflooey, what the fuck good would gold do for me? I see a guy over here who's got a whole shelf of food, and I got a whole shelf of gold. What's to his advantage to trade that food for that gold? Can't eat the fucking gold. Yeah, it's a good electrical conductor, but so what? Big deal. You won't be around to see it do anything because you don't eat. So think about that one. What is it that makes us want to amass gold? What makes it valuable? It's rare. So what? There's a lot of rare shit that's not worth that. What is it? What is it? Really ask these questions. We'll see you next time.